For this project, we're going to be looking at a quilt style of design. I'm going to be making a drawing in the style of a collaged or quilt pattern. Now, what we're going to do is start off by using a ruler to mark off essentially a border around my paper. I'm making my lines just one ruler away from the edge. So I line up the ruler on the edge of the paper, trace along the other side. I do that all the way around. I'm leaving squares at the corners because that is commonly seen in a lot of quilted patterns. And then inside of it, I'm going to fill my design with leaf shapes. Now, for me, the big idea here is quilts have a long story, a long past, where they've been often sort of dismissed as just crafts and functional objects. But, artists making quilts were making abstract art before that was even a term. There's a long history of innovative designs using quilts as a medium, loaded with symbols and stories that are very personal and meaningful works of art because, there's something really comforting about quilts. They are wrapped around you and make you feel warm and safe and secure. And so it is a wonderful outlet for people to make art that is deeply personal and meaningful. And so that's why I chose the leaves, because I have a lot of fun relating to my family and my children with leaves. Both of my children, when I would carry them and, go for a walk with them up on my shoulders, with both my kids, I would sometimes come near a tree and, they loved it when I would walk past the tree and the leaves would tickle them as they walked by and I would, feign indignation and yell at the tree saying, "Hey, leave my kids alone." And, I'd warn them, they got to watch out for those sneaky trees. And that's something that was a lot of fun for my kids as they were, little. And honestly, it's something that I still enjoy with my kids because, as cheesy and predictable as the joke is, it has become a routine that still my 2-year-old daughter just laughs her head off every single time. And for me, that is really, really nice because, my daughter, she has some speech problem and a lot of frustration that goes along with it. So for me, knowing that there's this joke, as ridiculous as it is, that is going to get her to laugh and smile and be happy every single time, like that just makes my day. I look for excuses to play in the leaves with my children. So that's the pattern, that's the design I wanted to put onto my quilt. And so I sketched it all out and I used the dotted lines around the perimeter of each shape. And then as I'm looking at the sort of frame around my quilted pattern or quilted design, I'm just adding other patterns. I might add triangles. I'm like, that flying geese type pattern. I'm just making black and white line designs to create contrast and stand out from the other patterns that I have in my quilted design. I used a lot of curvy, irregular shapes, organic shapes in my leaf design. So I'm using geometric shapes and black and white patterns in the frame, again, to create contrast or show a difference between those areas. And as a final step, I am just using crayons to softly color in. I wanted to use crayons instead of markers because I want it to have that sort of softer look. I wanted the colors to be a little less bold and intense, and because I wanted the marker lines, particularly the dotted marker lines, that sort of give it that look of like stitching and thread to be more visible. I wanted to accentuate that in my final design. Of course, you don't have to make yours a leaf pattern. You don't have to make yours a leaf design. I would encourage you to think about symbols and things that would be meaningful to you. Think about what makes you happy, what makes you feel good, and put that into your quilt design.